INTUNE, connecting professionals.
And questions. So, how many have you guys had a doubt after yesterday's session ki uh, क्या क्या हो सकता है इसकी capabilities? Like I have wrote it down some of them which I had earlier in my mind. So किसी के दिमाग में आए थे कुछ questions? Silence
Yeah,
is
Vaibhav.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, Vaibhav, I just wanted to know about the more in autopilot, how the device get added and how the vendor is adding the devices in our tenant.
Mm-hmm.
Those question I have.
Okay. That is way beyond. I mean, I think अभी हम beginner level पे चल रहे हैं. But
Okay.
yes, that is also covered in this slide. Okay. So what is device management? First of all, what is device? Anyone can give me idea?
Device is nothing but the platform where operating system installed
Right.
and it's from the operation. Yeah.
Correct. So anything which carries operating system and does have a functionality feature, that is called device. So in our case, we will be working with Windows, Mac OS, iOS, Android, and Linux. Okay. So in endpoint management, when I'm talking about the infra, so these are the most common devices, are the primarily the one which exists and we are currently working on. So we need to manage these devices, okay, and managing these devices which are coming from the different vendors, consisting different operating system on that. So sometimes it's really crucial to manage these devices, and इन डिवाइसेस को मैनेज करना, इन डिवाइसेस पे नेसेसरी अपडेट्स पुश करना, इंश्योर करना कि कंप्लायंस में है डिवाइसेस, सिक्योरिटी बेसलाइंस इंटैक्ट है, और जो भी डेटा है whether it's there on the device or whether it's in transit, it is not being breached. Okay, so device management is overall it's a big task. Okay, as an IT admin, everyone is aware of the, if you give some device to someone, so you ensure, even though your personal device also, you ensure that your passwords are not getting leaked, and your opened browser history and all those stuff, bookmarks and all those should not gone, and all lots of things. Okay, as a personal, but this is, we are talking about the enterprise level. तो यहाँ पे कैसे मैनेज करना है? Why device management is necessary? So device management is necessary. If we cannot manage the device, it will be very difficult to take the necessary action in case if there is anything happens, like if there is any mismanagement happen, if there is any lost or stolen, task happens, anything which is, because you own the device, it is part of your organization, and you ensure that yes, management of these devices are quite necessary. Correct. Why do we need cloud-based device management? So cloud is something which is scalable. Okay, as I think yesterday we talked about it. कि cloud में कैसा है, आप अपने flexibility के हिसाब से you can leverage the necessary scalability. आप चीजों को बढ़ा सकते हो, घटा सकते हो, manage कर सकते हो without any sort of extra mile. Okay, ना आपको कुछ extra इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर करना है, ना नेटवर्क सेटअप करना है, ना एम्प्लॉइज रखने हैं, ना ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम लाइसेंसेस लेने हैं, एप्लीकेशंस के, nothing like that. Okay, you don't need to acquire a big space to construct your infrastructure, your data centers and all, and every now and then you need to keep an eye, if there is any heat on the machine, then you need to do a cooling for those devices, and so many things and so on. Okay, so that is why cloud is right now in full of boom, and everyone is looking forward, moving ahead, shifting their data, services, data, and everything from one on-premises infrastructures to another. So the biggest question is why? What is Microsoft Intune? What does it do? What does it cater? Okay, so I think yesterday we have already talked about much in depth in what is Intune and all, but just in general, I'm just telling you, Microsoft is a cloud-based solution. Okay, this is more of given for the endpoint management. Okay, here you manage users, here you manage your devices, group policies. Okay, and all sort of things that you feel like you were doing in SCCM or your on-premises, software. and that is all thing that is combined here. Okay, now the capabilities of Intune, now you can leverage this with your on-premises infrastructure as well. So if you are still having Windows 10 and Windows 11 devices which are domain joined, those can also be shifted in your in your cloud through Intune. Okay, there is a way of doing it, that is called co-management. So that helps you to doing it. Why should we use Intune? So again, Intune is coming from a Microsoft ecosystem. It's such a big brand, and we are all combined in a ecosystem. We are all plugged in. So like data servers, SQL and all those coming from Microsoft. Your operating system, Windows 10, 11, all those coming from Microsoft. So it becomes more easy to opt another service without at any thought. Correct. You don't get offended if you are being asked by like you seeing numerous things with you, why don't you add one more thing that will also help you in this way? Okay, so sometimes you get carried away, you feel like okay fine, why not? So what is the life cycle of a device in Intune? So we'll talk about that. That's we have in the slide. Key, first we do the enrollment, then we deploy applications, then we protect those sensitive information, and then how do we retire and uh, delete the device in case of theft or stolen sort of things or misplaced. And how does Intune integrate with secure and protected services? So MDM and MAM, we talked about it. Then there are other compliances which are part of this, like conditional access. So we have a dedicated slide on this. What is the architecture of Intune? We have already discussed more of the entire architecture and more in detailed and in depth. Okay. How does Intune manage applications? So there is a MAM way, which is called mobile, that is mobile applications management. So using that, you all like set the policies and all sort of things you do there, and that is how it keeps a track of the applications and ensure that yes, your devices are your application data is not getting leaked anywhere. All right, and how to choose the right management solution within Intune? Yeah, we'll talk about that. What are the consideration for the devices? Yes, there are various platforms. As I said, Windows, Mac OS, iOS, and Linux is also part of that. So, and Android also. So, adding mobile devices, your iOS operating systems, and your Linux operating system. So, in short, it's covering all sort of platforms, okay, in the consideration for the device enrollment. And what are the requirements of using Intune? So we will discuss like what sort of licenses do we require, and how can we set up the tenant and all those stuff we will talk in next. Okay.